Hey guys, welcome back to another Sims 4 house building video. And this video is actually part 2 of my smart home. So I went ahead and I had my layout done for the 2 bedrooms and the living room space and balcony for the second story of this house. Now the way I want to do these bedrooms is I want to try and keep them modern, and I want to try everything along that theme of it being a smart home. But when I thought about it, this room here that I'm working on, I thought, well, why not? Let's put the person that is in this room, the type of person that likes to keep everything more of like a white, to try and keep everything looking clean. Like this person that's supposed to be in this room is kind of like a neat freak in a way. So everything in this room is going to be everything's going to be white. And what we're going to be doing, just to add a little bit of color into this room, is we're going to be having a lot of plants in here. So it kind of goes on that vibe of everything's clean in here, and they like plants because plants provide them nice, clean, fresh air. So I have the desk over here, tucked over here in the corner, and I'm playing around with the lights right now, trying to get some more lighting in this room, make it a little bit brighter in here. But I don't want to have too much of the lighting in here, because with this room being all white, the reflection from these lights is going to bounce around everywhere in this room. So I only have a couple of lights in here. Right now I'm kind of going in trying to find the plants that I want to use in this room to make the green pop. And I find these 2 plants right here, and I put those on those nightstands. And it gets me thinking about the style of those plants. Reminds me of like Greek mythology and stuff like that. So I found this wallpaper, and to me the wallpaper kind of looks like you're outside during maybe a sunset. So I'm kind of flipping through all the plants, and I'm trying to think of that Greek mythology like vibe and feeling, and I went and grabbed these pillars to try and spruce up the room so that I can use that premise that this is all about Greek mythology. Now what I'm doing here is I really liked those pillars there, and I decided because I'm going to put those pillars there, I need to do a new headboard for this bed because I didn't like the headboard that was with it. And I found this, it's almost like a fish tank, but it's not an actual fish tank. It's more of just like a wall art kind of thing. So I put that in there, and I have a light up on top, and it kind of shows the colors more on that water. And I ended up getting rid of that plant over there on the wall just because I felt like it was taking up too much space, so I threw in another pillar there. And I put this plant in, and I started realizing that because I got rid of the plant that was against the wall, my wall was looking kind of bare. So I'm kind of going through the pictures here and wall art just to try and spruce it up. Now I put in these cartoonish like clouds just because I needed something there, and I figured it's not a huge deal. So we're going to move over here to the living room. And what I wanted to do with this living room is 2 things. I wanted to have it as like a theater space, and I wanted to have a bar upstairs, because I'm trying to think of like people that would come and visit this house. It's going to be an area for them to relax among friends and maybe have a couple of parties and stuff like that. So when we come over here into the living room, I think I start off with the bar. I do. So I start off with this bar, and the bar theme that I was going for is kind of everything's going to be wooden, and everything's going to be dark brown colors and stuff like that. Kind of like a typical bar that you would go out to and have a couple of drinks. But I also wanted to set up that area so that it's kind of like a podcast set. And the way that I did that is I really saw those lights, and I liked them a lot. but they just didn't work on these shelves. So I set up the podcast lights so I can get the lighting going, and then I'm going to start filling in all of the decorative items on these shelves. Now, I really wish that I could have set up that whole back wall with like alcohol bottles and stuff like that, but there isn't just individual bottles when you go under the decorations. So I decided to just kind of fill it up with like clutter of putting in signs and stuff like that. So you'll see me going through all of the signs here and all of the wall art, just kind of placing things around on those shelves. And I found that bottle shelf, and I'm like, that's pretty close to what I was thinking. So I got rid of most of those shelves there and put that directly behind the bar. I'm throwing in a little ship here, just kind of add a little bit more decorations. I'm going to move on to the next part of this living room here pretty quickly. I'm just kind of fixing up the clutter so everything doesn't look like it was placed all on the grid. Now when we come over here to the theater space, you'll soon see that I kind of go back to that monotone color that I really like to work with, where everything's black and white. And I'm going to be challenging myself pretty soon here to get away from the monotone colors. But for now, it worked for that theater space because when you go to a theater, everything's pretty much dark anyway. Now I'm putting in just some basic lighting here. And I threw those two speakers above the lights to try and make it seem like it's a surround sound, because you don't actually have surround sound here in Sims. And I threw in that karaoke there because, like I said, guys, I wanted to keep this house kind of like an entertainment kind of house. Now, because I couldn't get the wall to go right there where I am putting up these curtains, I decided to set these curtains up so that they would be the dividing wall between the two rooms. And I actually really like the way it turned out. I think it's a pretty cool idea of having the curtains as a dividing wall, because in the situation of maybe you need a little bit more space, you could just pull back the curtain and it'll give you some more space. But you could also close the curtain and give yourself a little bit of privacy. Just finishing up some fine detailed stuff of this room, and then we're going to be heading out to the back patio. Now this back patio is going to be really simple. It's just basically a barbecue space and kind of like a outdoor hangout. Now right here I'm putting in the umbrella, and I realized that it takes up too much space, so I'm going to have to put in a roof above it. Now it was really quick, but that roof is actually one tile too short, so that I still have an overhang on my balcony, and now I'm just kind of throwing in some lights. Now, this video is really quick, guys, because I wanted to make everything on the second story really simple. This next bedroom, what I do with this room is I did the room as if I wanted to be in this bedroom. So out of this house, this would be my room, the room that I choose to stay in. I really love the dark colors and then the contrast with the white and red. So I set up the room with those dark colors, the nice black floor, red wallpaper behind me. It's almost like a red tile. And then I start working on the electronics in the room and sprucing it up. Now, this table that I put in here, I have a huge hard time with getting all of the clutter on it, because a lot of the items in Sims do not want to snap to that bottom shelf. So I'm trying to go through everything that I can to put it on that bottom shelf, because I really didn't want to have the two gaming consoles on the same shelf. You'll see the tissues kind of snap to it, but everything else is kind of going up to that top section, and it was bothering me. Now I'm looking at putting a light behind the TV, and I think I choose a small one there, and I really like the glow that it gives that whole room just from the one light behind the TV. Just kind of fixing up the lighting here in this room and finishing up by adding some curtains in, making everything look pretty decent. This is still a bedroom, so it still does need that privacy. And that's it, guys. This second story of this house was pretty simple, and I really like the way that all of it turned out. I hope you guys like the way that it turned out. So please, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and be on the lookout for part 3. Part 3 is going to be the exterior of this home, so we're going to be working on gardens and the walk path up to this house as well. So thank you guys for watching my Sims 4 house build smart home part 2.